Security footage from a supermarket in England shows a black shape floating down an aisle before making a complete mess of the store. In a social security office, a brand new motion camera captures a strange black shape drifting around a room, and cameras caught a figure in period clothing slamming a door shut at Hampton Court Palace in England, leading to one of the most infamous and eerie ghost videos on the internet. These are mysterious figures captured on security cameras that no one can explain. Well, this is a pretty busy supermarket. Not sure what it's like during opening hours, but in the middle of the night, when no one's supposed to be in the store knocking things off shelves, there seems to be something in the store knocking things off shelves. And even before that happens, there's some odd stuff going on. There seems to be some sort of invisible force messing with the computer and POS. And then we see this very ominous black shape floating down an aisle. We see all kinds of stuff in this video. Fruits rolling along the floor, a mop bucket shift out of position, and this door to the walk-in freezer starts to violently shake. So this footage was captured at a store in Whaley Bridge, England. Weird stuff is known to happen there a lot, and it's freaked out the staff so much that when Halloween night rolled around, they decided to shut the place down early. They locked up around 9:30, an hour and a half earlier than normal, after a bunch of spooky things started going down. Basically, everything you've just seen had all been going on that day. Rumor is the place has been haunted for over 100 years. This next piece of security footage was captured at a social security building in 2020. It was uploaded to YouTube by Joshua Bragg, who's responsible for checking the motion cameras. But here we can clearly see this mysterious dark shape floating around a room. He insisted that whatever this thing is, it's not a bug, and that he's always had weird vibes about the building. Haunted kind of vibes. And in terms of the cameras, well, they were brand new, high grade, and the lenses were sealed. So the idea of a bug or something being trapped in one of them was, again, not a valid explanation according to the uploader, who also said he went and checked the camera for anything like that anyway. So I don't know, what was captured on this motion detector camera? Let us know your thoughts down in the comments. This is a pretty famous image. I bet a lot of you have seen this still if you've ever typed in real ghost photos to Google Images. But do you know the story behind it? Well, back in the winter of 2003, something strange happened 3 days in a row at Hampton Court Palace in southwest London. Security kept getting called to deal with the same fire door that just wouldn't stay shut. Well, one day, the CCTV cameras caught the doors suddenly swinging wide open, like someone had slammed them, but there was nobody around to explain it. On day 2, it happened again, but this time the cameras picked up something else. A creepy figure in old-fashioned clothes flings the doors open before quickly slamming them shut again. Well then, day 3 rolls around. The doors fly open again, but the mystery figure doesn't make another appearance. Now, a visitor actually wrote in the palace's guest book that she thought she saw some sort of ghostly figure in the exact area on the same day that the cameras caught it. This grainy footage of the strange figure made headlines all over the world. News stations and papers from everywhere from Australia and India, well, they started talking about this thing, and of course the footage began circulating online, becoming one of the first creepy ghost videos in the early days of the internet. This video was posted to YouTube by House Junkie Podcast, who wrote in the description, "I got an alert on my phone from my Canary security webcam stating motion detected in living room. When I hit play, this is what I saw." So here we see these two very distinct semi-translucent shapes floating across the screen. Your first thought may be, well, it's just smoke, but I don't know. It doesn't really move like smoke. The shapes don't linger at all. They just float past and disappear. Also, I gotta say, they have pretty classical ghost-type shapes to them. So I have no context for this next clip. I just think it's cursed. So what the hell is this? One of those Fresno nightcrawler things with the 2 legs and no head? Or is it just a pair of pants walking around at night on their own? Again, I don't know where this is filmed. I don't know who the original uploader is. It's just one of those clips you come across online that may have well just sprung up out of thin air as far as you can tell. Adds to the creep factor, in my opinion though. But if anyone knows where this clip comes from, let us know down in the comments. This clip was recorded by a security manager who was on duty at the Wingate Hotel in Illinois on September 14th of 2003. That night, guests had started calling the front desk to complain about loud screaming coming from room 209. According to the security guy, this wasn't the first time that room had caused problems. Over the years, there had been several reports of weird noises coming from it, so as the security guy, John, approaches the door, screams can clearly be heard. Take a listen. So he stands outside the door, totally dumbfounded, because as his boss tells him over the walkie, there's nobody checked into that room. Figuring there could be something pretty serious going on in the room, John is instructed to wait for the police, but he takes a look inside the room anyway. He cautiously enters, and what does he find? Well, the room was empty and completely silent, except for the fact that all the furniture had been turned upside down, the carpet was ripped up, and the shower was running. But there was something else that actually picked up on camera. Just after John had entered the room, this happens. So this is a weird one. This footage comes out of a park in Costa Rica. We see some sort of creepy looking four-legged creature crawling around while two dogs bark at it. It's not exactly clear what this thing is, and people in the comments have been tossing around all kinds of theories. Some said it looks like a shapeshifter. Another said, my first guess, a troll. My second guess has to be El Chupacabras. Someone else said it looked like something that crawled out of hell. It's hard to describe this thing. It almost moves like a spider though, which is not good. What do you think it is? Mysterious creature or a hoax? This CCTV footage was captured on January 5th of 2017 in India. So a couple dudes are snoozing, they're off in dreamland, but one of them is about to have the worst nightmare of his life, because it doesn't go away when he wakes up, at least not right away. So suddenly this dude's legs start raising into the air. I do not think this is a case of sleepwalking, especially when it only gets worse. This happens. So not only does this man start getting dragged off the bed, he's getting lifted into the air. Like, this man's lower back is off the bed completely. Of course, at this point, he wakes up in a complete panic, thrashing around to get whatever the hell this thing is away from him. And suddenly, he's released and just drops back down to the bed, trying to make some sort of sense about what just happened. This is a really good video. Hoax or not, this would not have been easy to fake if that even is the case. This next one is creepy, not so much for the CCTV footage itself, but for all the stories surrounding this building. So in 2023, a security camera at the Library Restaurant in Portsmouth, New Hampshire, picked up something weird. What looks like a translucent shape zipping past the lens right before the cops showed up to investigate. This place is relatively well known for its ghost stories, especially in the basement, but this was the first time the motion detectors inside the building had ever been triggered like this. The restaurant posted the clip online and said, last night for the very first time our motion detector alarms inside the building were set off by this camera motion caught on video in the dead of night outside the window. In the footage you can see a white blur shoot past the camera and then vanish almost instantly. Again, on its own, I wouldn't really give this one much second thought, but considering the place is known to be kinda haunted, definitely makes this more interesting. One of the co-owners said she's seen things fall off shelves before, and people who've eaten here have mentioned a figure known as the Lady in White, who some have said they've seen wandering the hallways. The building itself has been around for a long time. It started out as a home back in 1785, then it was a hotel by 1833, before it burned down in 1884, and then it was rebuilt. Perfect setting for some ghosts though. And finally we have the Poltergeist. This eerie security footage was recorded at Deer Park, a 200-year-old school in Cork, Ireland. Here we see a number of strange things happening. A door at the end of the hallway slowly opens by itself before slamming shut with force. Moments later, a filing cabinet or possibly a locker starts shaking back and forth on its own. One of the locker doors swings open and all his kids' poor homework flies all over the place out of nowhere, and a nearby wet floor sign suddenly tips over. It's just an absolute mess. This thing, whatever it was not in a good mood. With all that said though, I've been your host James, and I will catch you, yes you specifically, in the next video.